Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ash. In this channel, we typically talk about how you can improve yourself and reach the best version of you, but we often miss the fact that there's a lot of things you're probably doing wrong right now that are holding you back. So in this video, we'll be talking about the top 5 things people do that other people don't like. If you want to avoid these mistakes and be liked by people, then keep on watching. Number 1 is fishing for compliments. You might be surprised by this because most of the time it comes across as harmless banter that you're trying to go and fish for compliments. But if you do it the wrong way, it might come across really arrogant, and if you pick your timings wrong, it's not going to work out in your best interest. For example, if in a group there's somebody who's using a self-deprecating joke type moment in order to put themselves across and raise the rest of the group up, and you, instead of supporting that whole group, come forward and use that opportunity to show other people how good of a person you are or why you're awesome, then it's gonna suddenly feel a little bit not that great. Another example might be where other people are praising someone for good work that they've done, and you decide to step yourself forward and say, oh, well, look, I've done this great thing too. Especially at work, this will come across really badly if you're not a team player. I'm not saying never take praise or never stand forward to actually receive that appreciation. However, if you pick the timings wrong and you're always fishing for compliments, then it might come across really insecure from you. So this is going to be a negative trait that's actually going to make people dislike you. Number 2, always thinking that people mean the worst when they say something, or that people are always attacking you when they're trying to make a joke. This can be really common. If somebody is insecure, then you might see them always lash out at you, even if you're making slight jokes. And especially if they're in a bad mood, then you might see this way more often. Think about your own experience. If you've not had your morning coffee, if you're a morning coffee drinker, that is, I don't drink coffee, but I'm just weird like that. But if you are a morning drinker of coffee, then let's say you didn't have that this morning, you've had a crazy rush into work, and you've gone into work and somebody makes a joke about your appearance, or, your shirt is untucked and people are like, oh, looks like it's a lazy day today, or you come in late. Are you going to take this as a joke, or are you going to take this as a personal attack on you? Versus, if you had a great day and somebody says the same thing to you, you might jibe back at something that's a bit more humorous, right? So you're not going to take it as seriously. So if you make this a common trait of you always thinking that people mean the worst when they say something about you or say something to you, then it's going to start making people dislike you. If you always presume that people have negative intent about them, then you're going to not be humorous, playback, banterous, or whatever you want to call it, while you interact with them. Instead, you're going to think it's a personal attack on you, and you're going to react very defensively. And when you repeatedly start defending yourself, people will not want to be joking with you anymore because they're just going to think you take everything too seriously. You might already know somebody at work that always thinks that, right? Who do you say, oh, this person, nah, they're too serious, or they just take things too seriously. Now, that's going to be the same thing to you if you always assume that people have negative intent. The flip of that is to give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, at least for once, then see where things flow. And if you can always jibe back with a witty comment, that will always win the day. Number 3, don't try to be the center of attention everywhere you go. Now, this might seem a little weird because in this channel, we always talk about how you can be more confident, how you can go and own your space, and how you can come across in the most confident way possible. Ash, why are you telling me that I don't need to be the center of attention all the time? How else am I going to show people that I'm confident? Now, that's the best trick of all. In order for you to show that you're confident, you just have to act it. You don't need to try hard at being something all the time. If you're always trying to one-up the joke that's already happening in the row, or win every banter session that's going on, win every back and forth, then it might just come across as competitive or defensive or needy, and it's not going to shed the best light on you. So remember, you do not need to one-up someone all the time. Sometimes the best thing to do is take a self-deprecating joke, take it on the chin, and add to the conversation with everybody, right? You don't need to one-up or challenge or be defensive. Instead, be the butt of the jokes from time to time. And that's okay. That can still come across likable, unconfident. Number 4, the zero-sum game. If you don't know what the zero-sum game means, it's basically a theory that if somebody else has something, you do not. At work, you see it often. In groups, you might see one person being praised for their hard work, and if you're insecure, then you're suddenly going to think that means you're not hardworking. So suddenly, if just because they have the title of hard worker, you do not. That's the zero-sum game mentality. Now, everybody suffers from this in certain scenarios, some people more than others. So if you suffer from the zero-sum game mentality, I want you to get rid of that, or start noticing whether you have it and when you display it, so you can nip it in the bud. Because this is a very unlikable trait that is going to really, really hold you back. Let me give you a really, really simple example that you can all understand. You know when there's kids and one kid is trying to show their teacher a drawing and the teacher's like, wow, your drawing is so good. What does the other kid do? Instantly they come back, oh my god, look at my drawing though. My drawing is good too. If any of you have siblings, then you will know exactly what I'm talking about here as well. Just because somebody else got something doesn't mean that you do not have it. See a theme in this video? There's a bit of a neediness theme that people don't like. So in order for you to come across as being confident and a person who owns themselves, then you really need to stop being so needy. Number 5, don't be an energy drainer, or an energy vampire as we call it around here. My friends and I, we have this whole thing about, are you an energy giver or an energy sucker? Right? If you're an energy sucker, this energy vampire, you're gonna not be liked by people. When I say it like this, it sounds a little bit harsh, and you might not think you are that person. But here's a really quick way to check whether you are or know somebody who is an energy vampire. Do you always complain about things? Are you the victim in almost everything that happens to you? Right? Do you always only talk about bad things that have happened in your day? Like, for example, when you say, oh, how was your day? Do you say the good things that happened? Or are you always like, oh yeah, it was fine, but X, Y, Z, oh my god, this person did this person did that, this didn't go well, that didn't go well. What is your typical conversational topics? Good things or bad things? Do you give other people energy, or do you use their energy up when you talk to them? Or if you're not an energy sucker, you might know somebody who is, that you just don't want to meet. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to meet this person because all they're going to do is complain about their problems and I just can't be bothered to hear it today. We all know one person like that at least. But I just don't want it to be you. If you want to be liked by people, be an energy giver rather than an energy taker or an energy vampire. Now, I'm not saying communicating your bad things or bad days is a bad thing. You definitely need to do that. You need to pick your moments. You need to be able to communicate yourself freely. But just don't make it a habit that all you talk about is bad things, or you're always looking at bad things happening. And especially don't come up with this victim mentality where you think everything bad only happens to you and happens to you all the time. Because your perception is going to really shape how you experience the world. I'll make another video about that, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out that video when it comes out. But this is going to be a way that your world is shaped, and you can change it by what you start focusing on. And make sure you watch this video next, because YouTube thinks it's going to be really helpful to you. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Comment below what your best takeaway was, and I will see you in the next one.